Alright, to find the y-intercept, you do what? You're making what 0? X 0. Write the original. Then every x value you're making 0. Function notation, you're making f of 0 equal 3 times 0 squared plus 0 minus 10. Make sure you're using your parentheses. To simplify, or using PEMDAS, are you going to multiply or exponents? 0 squared is, and 0 times 3 is? Zero plus 0 minus 10 is? Okay, so this is function notation. Basically what this says, what order pair is this? Do you see how it's the same? Your x value is 0 and your y value is negative 10. Raise your hand if you got that. If you think about it, for all polynomials, your constant, just whatever's at the end with no variable, that's going to be your y-intercept. Question. Okay, x-intercept. What do you do? Class, what do you do? We're going to make y equals 0. Class, there is no y. Where is it? Yeah, just right there. It's the same thing, right? So let's write the original. Y equals 3x squared plus x minus 10. All right, what'd you guys do? Finding an x is the same thing as finding its roots or zeros. Or super easy layman terms is x is equal to what? Well, we're going to make the y equal to 0. But essentially what you're doing there is you're solving for x. The question is, how do you do that with quadratics? So how do you solve quadratics? Someone spit out one of the 5 ways. Box method? What is your box method? Google Translate doesn't translate. Someone else. Quadratic formula. Thank you. Someone give me another one. Come on now. I just got yelled at last period. This is the reason why I got yelled at. Factoring? Super rare? Square root method? Completing the square? And if you graph it. These are the 5 ways you solve quadratics. Okay. Put your finger on what you think is the easiest one. Using the quadratic formula is easy. It is the longest, but it'll always work. Which one is the easiest but may not work? The problem with graphing is your graph may not go through these points really quickly. Okay, so I'm going to try factoring. Okay, so what does factoring look like? Our answer is going to be something like this. Now, you all come from different teachers, so it's going to be different how you factor. You can learn my way, or you don't have to learn my way. What's most important is you know how to get these as your answers. Okay? I'm going to use something called Xbox factoring. Looks like this. So after I show it to you, you're like, that doesn't make sense. That's fine. Go back to your own method. If you don't have a method, then adopt mine. This is my A value. This is my B value. This is my C value. In Xbox factoring, so don't tell your next math teacher I do Xbox factoring. No, you're doing factoring. This is just a strategy. A times C. Class, what is 3 times negative 10? And what is your B value? There's no number. It is a 1. I need two numbers that multiplied to be negative 30. So product. But those same two numbers add to be 1, or their sum is 1. Someone said 6 and 5. One of those has to be negative. Negative 5. 6 times negative 5 gives me negative 30. 6 plus negative 5, or 6 minus 5 equals positive 1. You take those two numbers and you put them in here. And you're going to put, doesn't matter what order, so I have a 6 and a negative 5. And basically what this orange has done is that it has split this middle term here. So what you need to do is you need to add an x. You're going to put the first term in top left always. So I have 3x squared and negative 10. Now I need to think of numbers on the outside of this box. And essentially what you do is, count with me, ready, set, go. 1. So essentially what this box is factoring by grouping. Okay? So great way in math, if you struggle, just use your finger, cover up things so you can focus. Class, what's the greatest common factor? 3 and a x. Greatest common factor.
1.
Okay, there's always going to be a 1. So your answer is going to be x. Class, what's the greatest common factor? Greatest common factor. You can multiply to check your answer. 3x times x is 3x squared. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. 3x times 2 is 6x, and negative 5 times 2, negative 10. What's on the outside are my factors. X plus 2, 3x minus 5. I would tell my Math 5 students, which we are reviewing right now in factoring, so if you need help, you can get their Math 5 packet. This is not work. You can go from here to here. Although we've factored, we have not solved. We don't have an x equals 2. So now we apply something called the zero product rule. You set each of these equal to 0. And now we just solve. Boys, x is equal to? X is equal to 0? Negative 2. Girls, x is equal to? Good, you? 5/3. Add 5. Divide by 3. X is equal to 5/3. As I was talking with another math teacher, you might get confused about what this is. Remember, you're finding an x-intercept. An x-intercept is an order pair. Class, what's the order pair here? Negative 2, 0, because your y value is 0, right? And this is order pair? 5/3, 0. Let's pick some colors here. How about green? Let's graph that now. Nice straight edge. -2, 0. 5/3, 0. I've seen students think in number sense that 5/3 is equal to a number between 3 and 5, so they think the answer is 4. Okay? No shame using this calculator. 5 divided by 3. 1.67 is between 1 and 2. Think of it as like $1.67. It's closer to $2 than it is $1. Does that make sense? You can write the number that it is. So those are my greens. We had a pink at 0, -10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I can't count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right there. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom in here. Now, a bad thing that students think is that the vertex. What did I say? Vertex. They think the vertex is always like exactly on there. Okay? I could spend the time doing algebraically, but I want to show you the power of the calculator. So we put in our calculator. You have them now. Take it out. Press Y equals. Clear that out. I had a student who had some crazy things on the graphs. Just make sure the equal signs are not highlighted all the way down. If you see them, you can just press the word clear and it takes it away. So I'm going to go back to Y1. I'm going to type in 3x squared plus x minus 10. The trick I learned from another teacher is just typing in x, right? Because x times x is x squared. Plus x minus 10. So there I have, in standard form, 3x squared plus x minus 10. Class, how do I graph it now? Okay, the temptation is just press graph. The reason why you don't want to do that is because you might have something where you've kind of moved the graph around. You have to do something else. Zoom. What number? 6. Ta-da! You got it invalid? Go to the Y equals and check all of them. I'll check later. Okay. Now, look at your number sense. Class, is this $2? Is this 2? No, so it kind of, the vertex is not exactly -10. So what can we do? Everyone say calculate. Do you see it? So it's in blue. So you have to press second trace. What did I say? And you're going to go down to number 3. So you can press number 3 minimum. That's what our graph looked like, right? The vertex was the lowest point, something like that. So let's go 3. Okay. It says left bound. You're going to go to the left of what you think is the lowest point. So you see my little cursor there? It's blinking. You just want it somewhere on the left. You could put it way over here if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. Everyone say left side. Class, what does left bound mean? Left side. So press enter. Okay? You know it's there is because you have this dotted line. And then now you're going to press the right arrow key. What do you think right bound means? Right side. So you press it so this little blinking dot is the right side of the lowest point. That's where we're trying to get the minimum, right? It says calculate minimum. Let's press enter. And then guess means you try to go exactly on it. And then press enter. It was verifying to you that it is not exactly on the Y-intercept. Does that make sense? So a little bit to the left and a little bit further down. So my graph should be like that. Something like that. Everyone say U. This better be a U, not a V. So this right there is 0, -10. That is our Y-intercept. And here is our minimum. That is the order pair -0.16. I'm just getting that from my calculator, and a Y value of -10.08. Let's just say you are not sure about those 2 points, right? You could press trace and just move the cursor up to the x-axis. Do you notice how the calculator cannot get exactly on there? Do you see that? Do you see how it keeps skipping? I already know the answer is -2. Let's see if we can calculate it. Second, trace, and you can do the intersection, and then you can do the same thing. Well, no, that would not work. Intersection would be for 2. Calculate 0. That's what it is. Everyone say calculate 0. And then you'll do the same thing. What's the left side of it? So in this case, the left side actually looks above. And the right bound is actually below. And then where I think my guess is. And there you have -20. Okay? So again, the goal of us doing this is that you can both algebraically find the x and y intercepts. The graphing calculator helps us, okay? It does not replace our mathematical thinking.